My starting point is relatively simple. You see his arms?
Yep.
I want them either straight or his shoulder slightly in front. Now, I don't know that until I see the combination of his body and what I'm seeking to achieve. Stand up again. Now, what was his starting position?
Would have been in front.
Your originally?
Probably, I think so.
Start again without thinking about it. More vertical than you realise. Okay? Do you understand what I'm talking about here?
Not quite, no.
Because everybody's limb lengths are different, I take a different approach to it, and I look at what's the optimal position for them to be in, rather than whether their shins are vertical or not. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep, yep.
Because we all present as a different package. So the way I know that I'm looking at what his arm angle is. Now, what does his arm angle do? Shoulder downwards. It just tells me where his shoulder is relative to the bar. That's just an awareness position. The other thing I'm looking at is what is his angle. What's his starting angle? So let's look at his starting angle. We identified then that he typically has a vertical start. He starts pretty much over, directly over. And now what's his back? What angle? Above 45 or below 45? Hop up.
Above 45.
Okay. So based on those two informations, if you were to describe him as an upright squatter or an over the bar starter, where would you? He's a fairly upright starter. Now, where is this coming from? I always ask this question. It's not about finding the evil, it's just understanding where it's coming from. It's not good or bad, but I like to know where it's coming from because I create a hypothesis of where this comes from. And I know two things it's come from.
I'd say, because I learnt to power clean before deadlifting.
So the Olympic lifting influence, his coach had him in a fairly vertical start. That's one of my theories.
And the second thing is because of my back.
There you go. Do you understand what I'm doing? Yeah. I'm not coming here and sweeping it aside and say, do this. I'm understanding why he's doing what he's doing. Because I don't know. I don't have one model for everybody. I have a generalized model that I can teach, but this is an athlete who has had some experience. He's also had injuries. We need to go to a higher level of understanding. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not just teaching a generic model now. So now I start talking about it with him. I say, okay, you start position. If you didn't have a back problem, I eliminate the back problem from my mind. I can't eliminate it like that, but let's get out of the picture. If you didn't have a back problem, let's talk about, for your needs, where do you think our trunk angle should be? Now, I've got to be careful not just to avoid eliciting what he does. But let's say he's no longer doing Olympic lifting and he's now
shot put.
Yeah, shot put, or he's taken on rugby union in the front row. I mean, we've got reason to review his starting position because the adaptation will be different. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he's never thought about this before, and he's now thinking about this. So what do you reckon for your needs at the moment? Where do you reckon he should be?
Well, depends what I'm switching from glide to rotation, because in the rotation technique you're fairly upright anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas the glide you tend to be.
Good. So where do you want this transfer to occur mostly on? Now you are throwing, is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's a real world situation. I thought it was a mock answer, but it's a real answer when he said throwing. That's fantastic. So you understand my question? Where do we want to get that transfer? Which part of the throw do you want to get this to transfer through at the moment?
And I'd have to say, because I'm switching back to the glide, I will probably need a more flatter back angle, just because you're in this position when you hit to come out of. Okay, so you want it to contribute to that aspect of the fantastic. So what do you think we might start experiment with now? Different deadlift.
Different starting position. What do you reckon? No, I don't make that decision. I lead the discussion. And he says to me, Ian, let's have a look at maybe just change it a little bit. Can you help me change it a little bit? Just experiment with it. Well, we don't know. It might take a few months to experiment with it. This is sport. Okay, so let's go.